Hi everyone! Today we are going to talk about another lesson, outlining. Our word of the day is burgeon. It means to bloom, expand rapidly, or flourish. For example, the number of social media users has burgeoned in recent years. Take a look at this image. This is an example of a blueprint. In architecture or in engineering, having a blueprint is important because it allows people to see the design, the materials to be used, and plan even the safety procedures. Building a structure or a house is similar to writing. An outline works as a blueprint for your paper. For example, a construction worker wouldn't begin to build a house without a blueprint, and a writer shouldn't begin a long research paper without a similar plan. In this video, we will talk about outlining. Here is today's checklist. At the end of this lecture, you will be able to define outline. Second, identify the main types of outline. And lastly, enumerate and explain the principles of effective outlining. Let's start to define an outline. An outline is a tool in the writing process that shows the framework of a text. It organizes our ideas, visualizes our paper's would-be structure, and to further flesh out and improve themes. It consents also the writer to recognize how he or she will link information to support the thesis statement and the claims of the paper. Doing so permits you to pick applicable data from sources early on and giving authors solid footing and groundwork when launching the writing process. Why should we use an outline? So here are the reasons why we should learn outlining. First is to clarify one's purpose in writing. Let's say that I ask you to write about the advantages of having a voter education in our country. To start, you may write down the first thing that comes to your mind. However, as you go over the material or as you progress in your paper, you may see other possibilities. So this process actually allows you to clarify the information that you wish to put across. The second, an outline could be used to test the proposed organization of an essay. The outline is just like the skeleton of our paper. So having this framework will allow you to see at a glance if the ideas really fall into their proper place. Third, an outline may help you read efficiently. So when you read an article or even when you are studying, you may be able to get the gist of the material by creating an outline out of the reading material. And lastly, it can communicate your thoughts without having to elaborate further. For instance, I will ask you about your plan in your essay. By giving or showing me an outline, I will be able to gauge right away what ideas you already have in mind. Now we have two main types of outlines. So the first is when the headings are given in single words or brief phrases. The second one is that headings are expressed in complete sentences. The first one is what we call topic outline, and the second one is the sentence outline. So there is really no rule which kind is actually better. So you just have to choose the one that you think will work best for your essay. And before we forget, to begin an outline, you must know these three. First is your purpose. Second is the thesis statement or the thesis or main idea. And third, the audience. To make our outlines better, we must adhere to the following principles. First is the principle of coordination. So in outlining, items which are of equal value or significance must have comparable numeral or letter designations. For example, a Roman numeral 1 is equal to a Roman numeral number 2. A capital letter A is equal to capital letter B, and so on. So coordinates should be seen as having the same importance. Coordination is a principle that enables the writer to maintain a coherent and consistent document. The second one is the principle of subordination. It is when information in the heading should be more general, while the information in the subheading should be more specific. So we are like having the general to specific approach. The third one is the principle of division. In this principle, it states that every part of an outline or a group or a cluster that has subtopics should have at least two parts. And lastly, we have the principle of parallel structure, which states that coordinate heads should be expressed in parallel form. Parallel structure, or also called parallelism, is the repetition of a chosen grammatical form within a sentence. This is important in writing because it affects the readability of a text. By observing parallelism, we will be able to create a somehow harmonious effect, especially when you are reading the text out loud. Let's take a minute to read this text as we will have an example of its outline. This is an example of an outline out of the text. This is an example also of a topic outline. A topic outline because the details here, they are not written in complete sentences, only through phrases or topics. So as you can see, it starts with a thesis statement, main idea, or topic sentence. Example, swimming is an excellent sport for senior citizens. Then it's divided and subdivided through this way. So the main ideas are labeled with the Roman numerals, pleasure, health, and companionship. And supporting ideas developing the main ideas are labeled with capital letters. For example, pleasure, and under pleasure we have relaxation, competition. And details developing the supporting ideas are labeled with Arabic numbers. So we have 1, 2 here, senior Olympics and water aerobics classes. If you will be adding another or other minor details developing the details, example under number 2 here, you still have another idea, you need to label them with small letters and you need to indent it also. Now let's take a look as to where the following principles apply. Let's have first the principle of coordination. As you can see, those in the same levels are of equal significance or value. They are the three aspects mentioned in the text: your pleasure, health, companionship. So similar case also is with those labeled with capital letters under each main idea or topic. Okay? Then, let's go to the principle of subordination. So our outline, as mentioned, it moves from general to specific. Okay, so from the aspects which are general ideas, it is further categorized into specific ideas found in the text. For example, under pleasure, we have two mentioned subtopics, relaxation and competition. Then under competition, there are two more supporting details, similar with the aspect of health. So under, it's further specified by classifying it into physical exercise and mental alertness. So subordination. Same here. So under mental alertness, you have two more subtopics. Okay, subordination. Then let's go to the principle of division. So the principle of division, it states that if there is a letter A, there must also be a letter B. If there is a 1, there is a 2. So notice here that each group or cluster has more than one item. Example, under pleasure. Instead of just writing relaxation, you have another idea. So relaxation, competition. So at least two. Okay? So we also have here under competition, we have Senior Olympics and water aerobics classes. So at least two. So no cluster must be left with only one subtopic. Okay? So this 1, 2, 3, 4 contains 4 subtopics. So it's not possible that, let's say, under competition, you will only write here Senior Olympics. Okay? If there is one mentioned, just do not add it anymore because it's just only one. Okay? Again, principle of division, if there is a 1, there is a 2. If there is letter A, there is letter B. Okay. And lastly, let's take a look at the principle of parallel structure or parallelism. I think this had been discussed with you in basic grammar in English. So here, notice that in Roman numerals 1, 2, and 3, they are what we call your coordinate heads. They are written in the same grammatical structure. So pleasure is a noun. Health is also a noun. Companionship, it's also a noun. Okay? So it makes use of noun. It's not like that we say here, we don't add here pleasure as in its adjective form. Like when we don't say pleasurable. Instead, we follow the same grammatical item to observe parallelism. Okay? So all in all, these principles, they constitute what we call an outline. And that's it. I guess we were able to complete our checklist. So to recap, an outline is an organization tool that serves as a framework of a text. The main types of outline are topic outline and sentence outline, and the principles of effective outlining are coordination, subordination, division, and parallel construction.